This is the third and final part of my sim racing build series. In this video, you'll see me install the Simucube active pedals, Simucube 2 Pro wheelbase and Valo GT23 wheel, and I'll give you my first impressions of the finished build when I do my first ever test drive. Hey guys, and welcome to part 3 of my build series. Today I am going to install the most important part of the setup, which is the hardware. I am super excited to install my Simucube gear, and at the end of the video I will give a first try to the entire new setup, see how it performs and how different it is to my other setup. But before we get started, if you haven't seen part 1 and 2 of the build series, I will link the videos in the description below so you can check them out. I want to give you guys a quick update on this rig. Last time you saw it, it had a different base plate for the wheelbase. It was a universal mount plate and I changed it for the direct drive mount because this is the one that is going to work with my Simucube 2 Pro. And the other thing that I did is I went ahead and actually changed the arm support for the monitor. I went with the longer one that I mentioned before just because I thought it would be safer for this huge 57-inch monitor. By the way, I make videos like this on sim racing every week, so if you're interested to see more, make sure to subscribe to the channel. I will also be uploading a lot of iRacing videos in the future, so make sure to subscribe so you don't miss any. The first step is going to be building the base plate for the pedals because I am going to be installing this amazing active pedals from Simucube. I am so excited about this. That's the part I'm the most excited about on this build. There is a dedicated base plate to make sure that they're perfectly installed on the rig, so let's get started. The Simucube base plate comes with printed instruction and is very easy to assemble. The quality feels great and the heel rest can be easily adjusted. It is optional, but I highly recommend it as it makes for seamless installation of the pedals and provides added comfort. Alright, I just got done building and mounting the Simucube base plate. That's gonna be where the 3 pedals are gonna go, the active pedals. That should make my life a lot easier, and it is replacing the initial trakracer base plate that I had. As expected, the Simucube base plate made the installation process very straightforward as there was no need for adjustments. The pedals are attached to the base plate through 6 regular M5 screws and T-nuts commonly used on profile rigs. That also allows for direct mounting of the pedals on the rig if the base plate isn't used. Once more, I want to truly thank Simucube for sending me these products. I am beyond excited to get finished putting everything together and try them out for the first time. I just got done installing the pedals on the base plate. I'm gonna be using the 2 active pedals as the brake and the accelerator, and then I'm using actually the throttle as my clutch, as most of the time I'm gonna use cars with paddle shifters and I want to make sure that I make the best out of those active pedals. But now I'm gonna move on to installing the wheelbase. I think it's gonna be very straightforward because there are 4 holes right here that's gonna match exactly the holes on this plate, and I think compared to installing the wheelbase on my other rig, which was very complicated and a lot of adjustments needed, this one should be very easy. As mentioned earlier in the video, I went with the TR1 direct fit wheel mount, which is perfectly adapted for mounting the Simucube 2 Pro wheelbase. It is easily doable by one person alone and can be fully adjusted. The Valo GT23 is a wireless steering wheel and attaches to the wheelbase via Simucube's quick release. It comes with a spacer and is easily secured on the wheelbase with the locking pin. Alright, I have everything mounted on the rig and I'm so happy. It looks so cool. It was actually super easy to put together, so huge props to Simucube for making the process so straightforward because it didn't take a lot of time at all. I just need to get started now with all the cables and connecting everything together so that I can give it a try.
later.
Okay, so I just got done with all the cabling, and as you can see, there's a lot of cables here, but it was actually pretty straightforward. If you follow the instructions from Simucube, there's nothing very complicated. The reason why it looks so messy actually is because I have two of the active pedals, so that adds quite a few cables, and this box here is an Ethernet switch, which is required to connect both pedals. So now that we're pretty much done with the cabling, I just have to bring in the computer. Before you say anything, I know I have some cable management to do, but I'm way too excited right now, so we'll get to it a little bit later. Alright, so I just started the computer for the first time since I connected all the hardware to it, and it is my first time actually seeing the huge monitor on, and it looks absolutely amazing. And I think it's going to be perfect for this setup, and I'll definitely do a full review video on it, so if you guys have any questions, just ask me and I'll make sure to cover them in a future video. But before I get to finally try this new rig, I need to install all the software for the Simucube gears. So let's do that, and then I'll take you for a drive. To connect the hardware, Simucube has two softwares, the Simucube True Drive and the Simucube Tuner. After a couple of minutes of firmware updates, the software is ready to go. The True Drive is the driver and configuration software for the Simucube 2 Pro Wheelbase, but all the configurations of the active pedals and the wireless steering wheel are done in the Simucube Tuner software. Both are very well designed, and the process of adding the devices is very simple. I'm now within the software. I can see like all the options for the pedals, and it's crazy, and I'm so excited to try everything out. Dang, it is actually really hard to press that pedal, so I probably have to go. Oh wow, okay, I'm at 100 kilograms force, so I probably have to go down, because oh yeah, look, if I'm pressing super hard, I'm getting to like 30-40% only, and that's like all my force, so it's definitely way too high. Let me put it at 40, see how it feels. Oh, that's much better. I'm gonna have to check all of this a lot more in depth to really understand the settings and everything that can be done. For now, I'm just gonna play with the motor vibration and the ABS, but there are a lot of other options on the FX that you can put. But again, if you want to see me really set everything up and go a deep dive into the active pedals, make sure that you subscribe to the channel, because I will be posting a video really soon about it. I definitely have a lot to figure out about all the possibilities with this new setup. I kind of set up everything so that I can have a decent sitting position right now. It's definitely not final. I'm gonna have to change a little bit the setup of the pedals, because this is a little bit high. I have very small feet, so it's a little bit too high, but I'll adjust that next. I really want to give it a try, so I'm gonna jump in iRacing right now and give you my first impressions. So here we go, finally trying for the first time this setup. This is insane. I can feel the car under my feet. It's literally vibrating. Oh, I did get some feedback. I'm getting some feedback on the braking thing. That feels insane. I feel like I'm in a real car right now. It's so weird. The pedal is a lot more responsive than the one that I am used to, and so it's a lot shorter, so you do have to press it hard, but your foot doesn't have to travel as much, so you can be a lot more precise actually on how much strength you're putting. And this is the default setting, so obviously I'm gonna have to try all kind of settings and see what feels good, and try to match the settings to the car that I am driving to make it more realistic as well. So I'm expecting it's gonna be really different from car to car, going from a GT car to a Formula 1 car. Obviously it's gonna be a completely different configuration and a different feeling, and that's gonna take some getting used to. It is a game changer, I think, just from testing it right now, it's so different. I mean, I knew that was gonna be, you know, a huge upgrade from my current V3 pedals from Fanatec. They're, I mean, almost 4 years old now, and you know, to start with, they were really decent but really basic pedals, and this is just like, it's not even comparable almost. Like, you're in a different category entirely, and you're really taking the realism to the next level. Obviously, you can learn on any sim setup. You can get better and learn new skills, but I think this is really gonna be helpful for me. I've been really trying to improve my skills, and I've been taking some classes or following a course to try to improve, and braking is one of, you know, the most important skill that you need, you know, in real life, in racing, but in sim racing that's as important, and that's very difficult when it is actually so different than in real life, because you can be a good driver in real life and then in the sim just not get the same feedback from, you know, the car that you're driving, and it's a different, almost a different set of skill, because it's, at the end of the day, still, you know, it's a simulator, but you're in a game, you're in front of a computer in the car. And I think if you want something a lot closer to real life, you need something like the active pedals for sure. That will get you a lot closer to real life, and I think that's gonna help me a lot to improve. Let's talk a little bit about this wheelbase. This is the Simucube 2 Pro. Obviously, it is my first time trying it out. It is a direct drive, just like the one that I have on my other setup. I have the Fanatec DD1, so it does feel very similar, I have to say. I noticed that it is smoother. It might be due to the age of mine, which is almost 4 years old now. So this is super smooth, and I really like the feeling. But the main thing that I noticed that is different is the granularity of the feedback that I get as I am driving. It's like I can feel all the little details a lot more, and it feels a lot more realistic. And I think the reason for that is the 360 Hertz that is in iRacing, that really gives you that extra realism as you are driving. But the Simucube 2 Pro is one of the only wheelbases on the market right now that actually support the 360 Hertz, which is one of the unique offering and value right now of this wheelbase. When it comes to the steering wheel, I really love it. I love the Alcantara. I mentioned it before. It's actually very similar to the steering wheel that I have in my car, and it just feels very high quality. I love the feeling of it. The buttons actually have a very nice touch to them, a very nice finish, and obviously I chose this one mostly for the LED lights. I just really love to have that on the steering wheel when I drive, so definitely really happy with this choice. Alright guys, that's gonna be it for this video. I am so happy with my new setup. I do have some fine-tuning to do when it comes to the seating position and all the configuration of the hardware. But in the meantime, please let me know in the comments below what you think about my setup, any questions that you may have, and you can definitely expect to see some dedicated review videos of the key parts of this rig. So if you don't want to miss any of these videos, make sure that you subscribe to the channel and that you click that notification bell button. That's it for now. I'll see you in the next one.